Maegavan and Melunin, and well met indeed. I'm Aracher Galadirthan, the head of Divide and Conquer, and welcome back to the Northern Dúnedain campaign, here in sunny Ariado. As I always say. We are at the beginning of an end turn, I believe, so we can continue our assault onto the lands that were once ours, and have been taken from us.
As you command.
Traitors' folly.
Finish them!
We have
besieging the cowards, my lord.
a vast army coming
They're
down.
Not going any...
Yes, my lord.
Yes, my lord. Yes.
And we will crush Traitors' folly and
tomorrow.
reclaim it. My computer has only just turned on, so there might be a few little moments where it takes longer to do things than normal. Like right then, for example, when I opened the recruitment screen and it took a little while. But it will warm up in a second and will be no one will be any the wiser.
As you wish.
Should you require a brief recap, I can provide that to you. The forces of Enedwaith have been absolutely obliterated, and they've asked for peace from us. We've said no. And they're holding a lot. This is all they've got left north of the Gwathlo, Suduri, which is being besieged by Bree. And south of the Gwathlo, they've now got their capital of Alkfud. They've got the small town in the trees just there, and then I believe they still own that one and Balorn. However, Gund has fallen. And by our last estimates, Gund has fallen to Gondor, and Isengard have destroyed Rohan. If you have not all, if you just tuned in on this 30th odd episode or whatever, which I agree is rare, then you'll be sad to hear that Rohan have already perished, and there is nothing that we can do for them. We can go to their lands, and then once we arrive in their lands, we will be able to train their troops. But that is all that we can do for them now. Oh, hello.
Your orders, my lord.
Ah, yes, Halbarad, who truly is of the north this time,
With
as
honor.
he has come all the
We
way
can go no
from
further, my lord.
Gundabad, which, if you also did not see, we gifted to the dwarves of Ered Luin so that we wouldn't have to focus on the Misty Mountains. Although what is interesting is that the dwarves of Ered Luin are only allied to me and Erebor, which means that they could very well attack Imladris with absolutely no repercussions, and they probably are already contemplating going to war with Linden. So at least for the time being, they can focus on the Misty Mountains and leave the other good factions alone. We can hope anyway. I don't think I was doing anything else. Don't think there's anything else left to do, so we can end the turn. As one of the few things that's happened behind the scenes, although I think I already mentioned it, but it's more relevant because I'm playing as Northern Dúnedain now, is that I have fixed the Northern Dúnedain large city and standard city, and no longer will they just display black textures. I've also fixed Gundabad, that no longer has black textures. However, Fornost, the Northern Dúnedain version of Fornost, doesn't actually work properly. So it doesn't have black textures, but it doesn't have the Gondorian theme. It looks like a normal northern European castle, so I'll have to worry about that another day. Which is why the current Fornost that you see is actually the Gondorian version and not the Northern Dúnedain version. However, in the games that you play, when you get hold of version 1, Numinas will be the Northern Dúnedain version. And the only difference between them is that the Gondorian ones have a lot more bright blue roofs, and the Northern Dúnedain ones have grey roofs. That's about the only difference. So very unnoticeable, to be honest.
Shall prevail.
But to us mod creators, it is like a thorn in our side when there's a never-ending bug that we can't get rid of. Oh, and there's a slim chance that you will see this, but there's a gentleman who said that the hovering Dunlending banners are Dunlending banners, and they are not Aztec. He read that on the Total War Center forums, and unfortunately, friend, the banners that I am speaking of are these ones. So if that man is listening, it's this banner which displays as Aztec on the battle map, on the campaign map. On the battle map, yes, if you turn on banners, there probably is a Dunlending specific banner. But I don't play with banners. Third Age Total War disables banners, so if you do have banners, it's normally a fluke, a chance of luck, or you've turned them on yourself. Oh, it's taking a long time to do things, isn't it? We also still are very much contemplating taking Khazad-dûm. I would really quite like to do that. It'd be interesting to fight against a faction that we have so far yet to come across. We've got the forces to do it, we've got the money, and so what we will do... In fact, Halbrad, that could be your very role.
My lord.
Head to Fenestrionen, where you will rebuild your force. Although,
Making
unfortunately,
camp
those
here.
mounted captains will be of no use. Neither will the local militia. Ah, so
Yes, my lord.
Hanion and all the local militia,
Orders, my lord.
which can't be of
Your will,
any
my
use
lord.
in Fenestruinen.
Orders. Yes.
You'll step
Your
out.
order. Yes, my lord.
Hold Halbrand there just so they
orders,
don't
my
rebel
lord.
for the moment. This army will go to Fenestruinen where it will retrain and join up with some elites if we can train them. Yeah, Arthedain men-at-arms, Rudar archers. Is that all we can get? Numinas and Fornost have quite the supply of troops. Oh, we got a Swordmasters Guild here though actually, so this is a good location to train any melees. Cavalry are pretty useless in the halls and caverns of Khazad-dûm, so we don't really need them. Oh, Turn Guathad got Rangers Hall. Excuse me, sorry. Only 3 turns until this bridge in southern Tharbad is ready. And that one is growing to become a city. And that one is growing to become a city as well. That's splendid. Alright. I am going to besiege the Isengard army for as long as I can, in the hope that they send reinforcements. Because if they send reinforcements, then we can crush an almighty Isengard army and make a glorious show of strength. And then from Traitor's Folly we'll push out into Isengard proper. But if we attack immediately, then we'll take unnecessary losses for a start, and Isengard won't lose anyone else. Whereas if we can try and trap as many Uruk-hai there as we can get a strong and very important and impactful victory.
Orders.
Interestingly, Bree could not crack the nut that is Siduri. Did I actually take peace with them? No, we are still at war. And I've got spies moving around somewhere. Where are you going? You're going... Oh, why are you sending you all the way down there? You go to the capital.
Approaching, my lord.
Damrod, you head south.
Approaching quietly. Approaching
Try and get a view on that.
quietly. Tomorrow's journey.
My lord.
We can use the generals that we have in here to get some...
Erecting a watchtower.
Increase our tower line.
Yes. We have marched our limit.
Making so much money. Somebody did suggest that I should have sold the... I should have sold
My lord.
the towns that I gave to Ered Luin off individually.
Watching from the shadows.
Oh, he was a spy. Oh, whoops. I thought he was a diplomat. Was not paying
My
attention.
lord. Yes,
So we've got a guy in the Gladden Fields. Ah, so you head south and tell us what's happened with old
Yes,
Rohan's lands.
Tomorrow's journey planned out.
And where was the other gentleman? Rona
My
Linden. Lond Arthran.
Yes,
Ah,
my lord.
indeed,
What is
map
it you wish
information.
to discuss?
We'll go with that first.
It's good to... Another proposition.
We'll take some map
We're
information,
happy to listen.
which they've accepted.
Seems like you have
And then,
further
how do you feel about an
proposals?
alliance?
Please,
Demanding.
This proposal is
Well, that seemed fruitful.
You know what that means, don't you?
Farewell.
There's a very strong possibility, and I mean very strong possibility, that the elves of Linden will eventually go to war with us. After a time, they'll feel that they're stronger than we are. They'll have no more enemies. They already have no enemies on their borders at all. And I am the only faction who is not allied to them, other than Ered Luin, who are next to them. So I'm pretty sure they're allied with Bree, because they start allied with Bree, so they can't go to war with them. So I think eventually they'll attack someone. Although they are set to be not very aggressive. That you can sort of define behaviours at the start of the game. And certain factions can be set to be like quite passive, not very aggressive. And they are one of those factions. They're set to not be very aggressive. So who knows? Oh, military camp, that's of no use to us. 3 free upkeep units here, and we've got 3 already. Those 3 aren't doing much, are they? Oh, I'll tell you where you can go then. You might as well go with Chieftain Eldarion,
Yes,
actually. There's
my
no
lord.
reason to not.
We can go no further, my lord.
You lot head back and join the army which is going to attack Khazad-dûm. I know it's a break to any real style of law, but it'll be a good laugh, won't it? So we can wait and see. You'll all be pleased to hear that Hummingbird has a surprise in store that has been asked for some time. And I also must reiterate again that I know that unfortunately this question gets asked on Total War Center more than here, and I don't think that the two parties necessarily relate as that well. So I don't think that many people from Total War Center see this, and I don't think that many people on YouTube go to Total War Center. But we are not creating the elves. They are being created by someone completely unrelated to that. So the elves that you all want to see from the Hobbit films, Thranduil's army, they are not being created by us. We have nothing to do with those elves. So stop asking me when we're going to get them in DAC, because I have no idea. They aren't even completed by the guy who is making them, so I can't help you. We have no idea when they're going to be done. As soon as they are done, we will put them in DAC, but we just don't know when that will be. So stop asking me when they're going to come in.
My lord.
And if you also haven't learned by now, we never tell you when the next release is going to go out. I've seen quite a slew of people asking us again, and it just makes me laugh.
Erecting a watchtower.
Because we will never tell you when the next version will be, ever. Because if we'd said it was going to come out in a week and we don't, then you just get a onslaught of people being like, oh, you said it was going to be in a week, and a week's passed, and where is it? So we don't. That's why I just say 7, which always delights me, because sometimes I'll say 7 and people will appreciate what that means, and they'll be like, oh, right, sorry for asking. And other times I say 7, and then you see people desperately try and work out what 7 means. Like, is it the 7th of this month? Is it the 7th month? Whereas really, yes, it means nothing. It is designed exactly just to annoy people who are trying to guess. I'm afraid I'm a little vindictive in that way. So,
assembling a mighty host.
Right, you head south, whoever you are. Hanian, Halbarad of the North, return to Fenestrionen,
with honor,
where an army is being trained as we speak. Can Araros send anything? No, it can't. Not that bothered about them, are we? Although it can have 2 free upkeeps to get some of them. I think that's all we can do. Again, send our diplomat further into Rohan.
Your orders.
How's Carascalathon doing? Oh, they got quite a few troops dotted around there, haven't they?
Without question.
Oh, there's a Dol Guldur force. Didn't expect to see.
Is there something I can do for you?
They've said yes.
Goodbye.
And they have indeed taken Eredraichan. Interesting.
Yes, my lord.
So the Galathrim are surrounded, which would be even better if we come through Khazad-dûm, because then we can come and knock on the door of Dol Guldur in a place they very least expect us, in a place they least expect us. So let's end turn again. I've taken on board all of the feedback from the lore video. I'm overwhelmed by the feedback from the lore video, and I can't thank you all enough for saying you enjoy it as much as you have done. That was the goal. The next videos, I will do 2 videos for Gondor initially. I'll worry about minor fiefdoms a little later down the line, but initially I'll do 2 videos of Gondor overviewing their general history, and they will be split into the time of the kings and the time of the stewards.
Like this, my lord.
Because the time of the kings video will be about the same length as the Arnor video, because they both kingdoms lost their kings at about the same time. I say about the same time. In the grand scheme of things, they lost them at exactly the same time. But it was about, I think, 7 years or so later that Gondor lost its final king and became ruled by stewards. About 7 or so years after Arnor
Erecting
fell.
a watchtower. By your command.
It could have been a little longer,
Erecting
actually.
a watchtower.
But Arnor, certainly the saviour of Arnor, the king Arnor, he dies after ruling for only 7 years, and he is the last king. So the history of them as royal lines ends about the same time. So then I'll do the second half about the stewards. And I've taken on board, as I said, what you said, and I do plan indeed on putting up a family tree. And I will also try and utilise this map more, because it's a very good display, obviously, of the map of Middle-earth. And it's a better map than, say, an image of a map.
We shall continue tomorrow.
But I just got to work out the kinks of how to do that. Well, Mordor and Dorwinion have gone to war. It's now only 3 turns till Traitor's Folly falls, and they've only sent nothing, basically, to support it. Misty Mountains doing alright there. Now, we don't know what's happening up here. But in answer to somebody's request, actually... Oh, Alien Respawn. They've got me covered if I choose to upgrade to Windows 10. Thank you, Alien Respawn. I will try not to open my eyes too much and see the world around us, but in answer to what somebody has asked for, at 15 minutes exactly, let us toggle fog of war and see what is happening to the rest of the world. So, good Christ, Isengard really are doing very well. Saruman with his locked trait. And somebody said he is not locked. Maybe we've locked him since 0.52 then, I'm afraid. But he's certainly locked in our games, because that's as far as he's made it in the whole game. So there is an army coming to Traitor's Folly, but they're... I don't know what they're doing. They're having a camp, I don't know. They're having some sort of annual retreat in the mountains to the west of Isengard. Enedwythe have reclaimed Gund. That's interesting. So we do need to push the pressure south on Enedwythe before Gondor falls. I could really do with Bree moving in and taking Siduri. What are they waiting for? Up in the north, Dane's Halls has finally fallen to the dwarves. And as expected, the forces of Ered Luin are now swamping into the Misty Mountains. So it won't be long before the Misty Mountains falls. Imladris have got Dol Bryn. Other than that, oh dear. Oh dear, we are far too late. We are so late, it hurts. Gondor are being kept alive by Dol Amroth, who hold the peninsula of Belfalas and the Dúr and Ernil, the lands of the prince. And they are keeping Harad at bay, but Harad have, because they've taken Brethil, and a long time ago by the looks of it, that's upgraded to be a southern Middle Eastern look. Mordor are trapped now there, and because Rohan have fallen, Mordor have no one to attack. So as soon as we break through Isengard and we arrive in Mordor, they're going to throw everything at us. But once we've taken down that large collection of forces there, it will be a relative clean sweep straight through to Barad-dûr. I don't know what to do about Harad and Umbar. They will be so powerful. It will be such a ball ache to take them out. Dorwinion have not been defeated, but they've lost most of their lands to Run. Dale have been pushed back by Run. And the dwarves have done nothing. Trapped behind the line that is Dale. The elves have done a little bit, alright. They've done a little bit more than they normally do. They've taken Rakuberg. They've taken Erendrunen. So, Anduin haven't been defeated. They're sort of holding on. So in the west, the good forces of good are doing incredibly well. Ered Luin, myself, and Bree, we're all holding off very nicely. I will arrive soon enough to save Gondor, but will I arrive in time to save Dol Amroth? That is a question. We will still take Moria, and then once we've taken Moria, we'll move south and take Dol Guldur region of Adraikan, where we will then hold Adraikan and begin a two-pronged attack into Isengard. The three armies that we have here, one of them will have to break off and take down Enedwythe before we run out of time. That's a fascinating toggle of fog of war, that was. We've got a large challenge ahead of us. We're going to need to throw everything we've got at it. So, train me units, please. You're going to be needed. We make about 8,000. That's not too bad.
Yes, my lord.
Hanion, you head to Tirarad and just remain there. Maybe we should hold off on attacking Khazad-dûm because of the fact that we really need to get to Gondor quickly, and fanning around in Dol Guldur when they're not really doing anything is not the way. So I think we're going to throw everything we've got at Isengard and Enedwythe, wipe out Enedwythe, and then push through Isengard as fast as we can, and then build up massive armies to meet the onslaught that will come from Mordor once we have Alkford. Alkford? That's not Alkford. Aldburg. And as soon as we take Aldburg, they'll come at us hell and high water. So it's going to be a fight then. We've got a long way to go till we reach that point. So let's carry on building towers.
As you wish.
That really was fascinating. Interesting to see the stalemate between Dale, Run and Dorwinion as well. Often, you see, I'm quite pleased that that's like that actually, because too often we get people who only play a single campaign, and in that single campaign, Run will die, for example, and then they'll immediately go on the attack and be like, "Oh, Dorwinion and Dale are way too strong." This is quite evident because Run have been defeated really early, but this time is showing you that actually Run, Dorwinion, and Dale are quite they stalemate quite a lot.
By your command.
And whilst you may have only played 1 or 2 campaigns, we've played hundreds of campaigns between us, Hummingbird and myself. So we know exactly what the situations are going to be like in the big picture, the big scheme of things. Of course, there are always anomalies. This is a total war game. But the general plan that we have for the factions does play out 9 times out of 10. Another turn goes by where nothing happens. Isengard now abandoning Traitor's Folly, by the looks of it. So Hanian,
orders,
actually, you
my
might
lord.
could go and stand on that
With
bridge
honor.
for us, because that's the main
Making camp
crossing
here.
into our lands.
We shall continue tomorrow.
Tirad is training. I think I will not go for Khazad-dûm.
Yes, my lord.
I
Yes.
apologise to those of you who would love to see Khazad-dûm attacked, but I will leave Khazad-dûm alone. Seeing the fate of the world and the fact that all of Eastern Gondor now belongs to Mordor, we need to get to Minas Tirith. And I'd rather fight in Minas Tirith and Osgiliath and Minas Morgul and Henneth Anan than I would in Khazad-dûm. So the Khazad-dûm battle map is the same as it was in Vanilla, and I didn't really like it in Vanilla, and I don't really like it now. So there's no reason to attack there. Don't think anything else happened that turn, so again we'll end. I need to make sure that I have an alliance with Gondor, because I'm not sure that I actually do. We'll trade them a town. We'll take like Balorn or somewhere like that and just give it to them, and that will ensure an alliance between us. Maybe we could do this. Maybe we could give Balorn to Dol Amroth, and it might give them a point where they could survive potentially. We could also give Dol Amroth actually a region in our own land, because we share the same culture. So if they were to get Matraith, for example, its Dúnedain culture is now 27, or somewhere even more in our own lands. Athelin, we've had that for a while, haven't we? 45% Dúnedain. Then they'd take that and they would probably immediately like us. And they would immediately like it, sorry, and they'd be able to hold it. But then that's a bit of an odd thing to do, to give them a region in the middle of our land.
Your orders, my lord.
Isengard crossed the river.
With honor.
Disappointed, Isengard. I'm very disappointed.
Orders.
We'll leave behind
My
those
lord.
two.
By your command.
You lot
Yes.
move out to meet them. Rest of the army is training. So they realise that they're going to lose Traitor's Folly, so they've decided to walk everyone around it and head up here where they can't do anything.
Have a taste of my blade.
Yes, my lord.
Well, Hanian should be able to hold them at bay. So far, I've yet to fight a battle in this episode, I'm afraid.
Your orders, my lord.
As I'm sure you are all more than aware. Which unit do we not want? Lumberman. You're the units. You're the defence. We only need
Yes,
one
my
general
lord.
in here as well, actually, don't we? So you go and stand out there. And then you two will have a place to go while the rest of the army retrains. And then almost the entire garrison from there will just come out as an army and head south. Hopefully everything can be retrained, yeah. And that army, I think that army will probably use to take down the capital of Enedwaith. We'll take Alkford with that army. This has got quite a nice array of troops as well. Let's get the troops from there. Chieftain
Your orders,
Eldarian,
my
yeah,
lord.
you head to Camath Bryn and take that army. So Fenestruen, and you can train. You're going to leave behind those two and
Yes,
those,
my lord.
which will take away. So at the moment you've got a space for 3. Halbrad will join that, so space for 2. But those two aren't going to stay with you, so you've got space for 4 units. So 1, 2, 3, and 4 Dúnedain cavalry. So we'll train those extra units there, then we'll retrain the other units, and then that'll be quite a good army. And
Your
Chieftain
orders,
Eldarian
my
will take
lord.
up to Camath Bryn, where he'll command this secondary Rudar army. Oh, we're building towers, aren't we? My favourite
My
thing.
lord. Yes,
But we don't have the money.
my lord.
Bree have
perfect
arrived at
position to
Siduri, which is good.
ambush.
Maybe I should give them Londair as well, and then let Bree swamp into Enedwaith. But then there's no telling. Bree would probably attack Gondor. I expect that would most certainly come about. Excuse me, sorry. Get quite a nice supply of units from here. Core of Enedwaith. Hey, that hunting camp said I get my units. Do we not even have 10% Dúnedain cut? No, we don't. Keep queuing buildings, keep queuing buildings. Alright, I'm afraid that I will end that episode there. So, without a single battle, I'm afraid. So, I apologise a great
Yes,
deal for
my
that.
lord.
But the next one will certainly have a battle when we have to fight the Isengard forces who are arrayed against us. And our armies will move to strike the final blows against Enedwaith. I'm also seriously considering sailing round to Gondor to put an army in some ships from Londair, sail them all the way up the river, and then come behind that massive Mordor army and take Minas Tirith in a really quick blow. So build an army of real elites, give them 2 units of catapults so they can break in. Mordor never get a garrison in Minas Tirith because they don't have the same culture, so they would never get garrison troops. They wouldn't see us coming because they wouldn't prepare for an army coming up the river, and we could disembark, take Minas Tirith, and then have an island of Dúnedain in the centre. The more I talk about it, the more I'm definitely going to do it. We can already train the ships. So we'll take our finest units from our selection, we'll form an army, and we'll go to try and save Gondor's homeland before the orcs defoul it too much. But for now, that will end this one. So, as ever, dear friends, thank you very much for watching, if indeed you have. I'm Arakair Galadirth, the head of Divide and Conquer. Feel free to write any questions, qualms, or queries you have in the YouTube comments section, where you'll be answered by myself or one of the many, many people who know about the game and know about the mod and know about the lore. If you wish to, you can also post on Total War Center or ModDB, but I really don't monitor ModDB. I would also ask, if you've stayed this far in and if by some miracle you're one of the people who has a problem, if you have a problem with installation and you put it on one of the forums somewhere and no one gets you, I would ask that you don't then send me a personal message just quoting exactly what you wrote in the posts. As much as I'm very keen to help, I've written out installation guidelines almost everywhere, and just literally follow them by the absolute letter and the game will work. I can't help you more than they already are, and it just ends up with me just telling you to read the installation instructions again. But anyway, again, I'm preaching to the converted, so I apologise. So anyway, thank you very much for watching. Stay tuned for the next instalment of Northern Dúnedain, and then the rotation will continue. And the lore videos will probably go up each weekend, so that's the timescale for those. But for now, Navar Naden Pedimad Melunin, and farewell.